What's going on, guys? Hey, listen, we're on the second to last from the house of Jovoy. And for those of you who don't know, I've been doing it in this order because I'm going to be doing a power ranking at the very end. So I've ordered my reviews from the worst to the best. And my opinion has changed to some extent on some of the fragrances as we've progressed. But we are in the final two, which means these were some of the most appealing scents to me. And we'll see if my opinion remains the same on them. Strap up. Let's go for a ride.
Okay, feeling for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let the sin into the room. You are on top, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right. Welcome to the scent bubble. I am your host for the afternoon. Today from the house of Jovoy, one of my favorite houses. So far, the best discovery set I have come across. This is L'Art de la Guerre. Putting a little Spanish twang on it, but it is French. So if anyone wants to troll me in the comment section below and give me like a phonetic spell out of how I should have mentioned that, please feel free. Let me fix my headphones real quick. All right. Okay, so this fragrance is apparently unisex. I will confirm that if it is or not. And let's do an initial impressions. We're getting to the bottom of the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it to skin. Let that sit for later. And I have just had an absolute blast going through this house. Guys, if you're into discovery sets at all, if you want to just kind of isolate and go to one house and explore an entire house, this house is transportive. They're a masterclass in balance and finesse. They're complex, somewhat like an homage, but more commercially refined to me. I just have a lot of respect for this house. Okay, initial impressions on this scent. Oh man, there's so much nostalgia in this scent. I'm getting this like very herbal slash green slash slight sweetness from fruit, like a citrus, like a sweet citrus. It almost smells like a much more elevated niche version of something like Terre de Hermes, which off rip is just so nice. It's very woody, but they've taken like a very woody base and just really elevated it into a much more modern presentation with the combination of herbals, green, and then this slight twang of citrus. Almost feels like orange, you know, or some kind of just more charactered citrus. This is definitely not unisex in my opinion. This feels solidly masculine, very fresh though, very open and airy. So I see how that's kind of why they charactered it as a unisex fragrance, because it has this open, airy freshness that wouldn't be super intimidating for a woman, but then again, it is quite woody, quite green, and there's not much fruit, even though there seems like this mandarin orange brush on the top and vetiver. It has such a like a mossy, woody undercarriage that I think women wouldn't really gravitate towards it. Let's go ahead and switch screens here. Score on this, surprisingly got a 3.8 out of 5. I don't get that. This feels at bare minimum like a 4 out of 5 fragrance in terms of the Fragrantica rating. I would even put it closer to like 4.1, 4.2. Because if you're a man who likes anything from the Bentley line or something like that, you know, just very masculine, classy scents that can go from upscale casual to business formal, this is a killer, man. I don't know why they did that. Rhubarb. Okay. Okay, so the rhubarb green apple combo is really apparent in this fragrance. It's like a slightly sweet red apple brush, but then it has this distinct tart to it. And you can tell that the green apple is definitely contributing to that. One thing I will say is that the rhubarb and green apple, though seemingly typical, is not creating a typical top note brush. Like if you smelled anything from Bentley, or like Ferragamo or anything like that, this doesn't smell, it smells familiar, but it has its own character. It feels very niche in the sense that the top brush of kind of this citrus sweet element is unique. Like I said, the only thing that comes to my mind in terms of style is maybe like a Terre de Hermes Parfum or Eau de Parfum. Middle notes, we have Immortelle, lavender, nutmeg, and violet leaf. I can't distinguishably say that I get particular notes, but I do get this, sometimes I say citrus medley or floral medley. It's kind of this basket of a bunch of that. This fragrance feels like a green herbal medley in the heart. It's loaded with it. It's such masculine power. Base notes, we have leather, oak moss, patchouli, and sandalwood. I think the sandalwood and sandalwood is carrying all that herbal floral and fruit rhubarb into the heart. But you can tell upon the dry down that really this leather, oak moss, patchouli, labdanum is what you're left with. But the sandalwood kind of carries this ghost note that the sweet tart herbal aromaticness is still carrying on into the base. It's just that leather, oak moss, patchouli really takes over. Thankfully, with how dense notes like this are, you still have an airiness to it all. So as dense and solid of a performer as this feels, there's an air to it of freshness that doesn't make it overcomplicatedly like a cold weather herbal hybrid fougere modern citrus herbal aromatic type of fragrance. It keeps it relevant, but it still feels grown. Like this is very much grown. This is a grown man's fresh everyday fragrance. Any season, any reason. It's masculine. It's mature. 30 and up super comfortably. 25 and up ambitiously. If you're a fan of the Terre de Hermes style profile, but you want something that's even richer, a little bit more signature. If you're a fan of anything from the Bentley line, Azure, Infinite Rush, Momentum Unlimited, Bentley Black Edition, any of those, this is a higher elevation of all those kind of consolidated into one fragrance. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. I'm giving this, in its category, I give it like a 9. That's where I'm at with it. It's very nice, very solid. It's hard to find non-sweet, masculine, newer fougere feeling scents, something you could pick up with a collared t-shirt and go, something you could pick up and go to work in, something you can, if you're going to be out and about, it just gives you like a very manly presence. It's hard to find scents like that don't feel old or classic fougere, and also that feel complex, like they feel like something that isn't already out there by Ferragamo or Bentley or Lalique or something, so this is very nice. I think for people who are intimidated by how tart and kind of sour bitter the grapefruit orangish accord is in something like Terre de Hermes, if you're intimidated by how brash and loud that is, this is a little bit more subdued into the oak moss, patchouli, leather, and then floral heart. So I feel like it's softer, but then because of that, it's even more complex than Terre d'Hermes. This is somewhere between, I don't know, it's just aged. It's somewhere between like one of the Bentleys. Like I get hints of Black Edition. I get hints of Infinite Rush kind of blended into this Terre d'Hermes Parfum type of feel. If you have Terre d'Hermes or something like Risasi Faton, which is to me a clone of Terre d'Hermes, or something like Cypress Cedar from Banana Republic, this could feel redundant, but if you really like that DNA, this is the highest presentation of it. So it may be worth getting a bottle of it, because this is going to be a Swiss Army knife for business casual, business professional, semi-formal, upscale casual wear for my grown men, you know, for my 30 and up and ambitiously 25 and up. I think for my younger guys that want to get into very manly scents, this one would feel a bit, it might age you by about 5 to 10 years in a good way, but I don't know if a lot of younger men are willing to take that jump depending on what phase of life you're in. Like, even if you're an ambitious, manly young man, if you don't have a good job or drive a half decent car, it's not going to feel right to you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to feel quite distant. You know, it'd be like watching a 16-year-old pull up in a Phantom. You know, it just kind of wouldn't, it could happen. It could be the case, you know, but it would feel out of place personally and publicly. Really good fragrance, though. I'm calling it a 9. Any season, any reason. I think it leans a little bit cold weather. You know, don't wear this in piping hot weather. This is an indoor type of fragrance or outdoor with a breeze. I told you guys the occasions, you know, work, upscale casual, semi-formal. If you have a girlfriend or a wife, this is a very classy, manly type of fragrance that you could go out to eat in and stuff. It's not the most romantic, but it's kind of one of those, this is a man being a man, so he's sexy kind of thing. There's no sweet draw to it or anything like that. It does have a little bit of citrus, so it's not too foreign to a woman, I feel. But it's not the romance fragrance. This is the I am a man, and that might turn you on, but I would be wearing this whether you were in the room or not type of fragrance. Yeah, I gave you guys some alternatives in terms of the wheelhouse that it reminds me of. Bentley, you know, Terre d'Hermes, Parfum or EDP, Faton from Risasi. I think Risasi Faton is an incredible Terre d'Hermes clone. It's the only one I would really recommend. It's $25 on Amazon. Cypress Cedar from Banana Republic is great, but lacks performance. But if you're willing to overspray, it'll get you in the wheelhouse of that. Terre d'Hermes is just a classic, but I think it is polarizing. You either absolutely love it or you're just turned off by heavy doses of vetiver, Rhiny, grapefruit, and orange. But this is nice. It rounds everything off. Again, it's the highest rendition of it. Sprays on something like this, it says the longevity is moderate. The scent bubble on this feels very 2-3 feet-ish. Not a big sillage type of a fragrance, but anybody who interacts with you or walks by you will be like, oh shoot, that is a man right there. That's, yeah. You know, yeah, I think we've gone over everything. It's a lovely fragrance, and I just love this type of perfumery. I think as far as like robust masculine scents that aren't sweet, I feel like most masculine scents these days in the designer realm are really pushing you towards being overly sweet, or at least having a safe level of 4 or 5 out of 10 level sweetness. And so it's good to see really robust modern masculine fragrances that still kind of feel conventional but reimagined. I think we need more scents like that because they just do something to a man. They bring confidence, they bring prestige, they bring ambition. They're somewhat almost like therapeutic in a way, because a lot of times these type of fougères and stuff, they connect you to nature more. You know, you smell more of the woods, the greens, the mosses, the dampness, the wetness, the floral aspect as it relates to those, not just having this like floral white, pink, or purple overdose that pushes you sweet or pushes you powdery or pushes you unisex. Like this is like those aspects are super backseat to the masculinity of this fragrance. And again, I know when we talk about stuff like this is a somewhat subjective conversation, but I'm talking about masculinity and femininity in the context of culture today and how it's progressed in time. Not necessarily, oh, you can, ladies, you can't wear oak moss. You know, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about speaking in a way that you understand in the history of perfumery and where it's come and where it's at now. And so always take my opinion with a grain of salt, but it is an educated grain of salt. So hopefully it helps you sit and contemplate through whether or not this would be a good fragrance for you. Again, this is from the house of Jovoy. Absolute banger, 9 out of 10. Le Art de la Guerre. And man, absolutely phenomenal. Like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on the notification bell so you can stay tuned to the various videos and content I'm dropping every single day. We just hit our 700th video upload in less than like 11, 12 months. So, or sorry, 13, 14-ish months. So the progress and growth of the channel has been awesome. And I've really been working hard to out provide in value and content comparatively to all the other channels. So hopefully you get that vibe and that authenticity and that passion when you subscribe, and hopefully that causes you to stay a while. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Until next time, peace.